Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be painting these parts right here. So first thing I'm going to be doing is mounting these parts, like last time. So with this I'm going to be mounting the rifle on a piece of tack like that. And for the rest of the parts, it's just tack on a little tiny toothpick. So now we have all these done. Let's mount them. I mounted them on pieces of styrofoam like this, like last time. I'm putting pieces that will be colored the same together to make them easier to paint. And now that we have those all ready to paint, let's get them all in the picture. How will we go paint them now? I started with the base coat of Tamiya NATO Black. I thinned this down to a ratio of 1:1 with isopropyl alcohol. And it looks like I'm painting really closely here, but it's actually sort of camera angles, but don't worry, it's not too close. We want to base coat all the parts of this, as this will be acting as a base coat for not only the paint adhering to the parts, but it could be used as a shadow coat in some cases, so we want to get a good even coat, and multiple coats if you want to do that too. I just did 1 to 2 depending on the part. First color I'm using is dark yellow from Tamiya as well. This is just going to be these two parts. The next paint I'll be using is this field gray color, also from Tamiya. Also, I thin these down in ratio 1:1 with isopropyl alcohol. Next color is khaki, again Tamiya, same ratio at about 15 psi. I've been using 15 psi for all these. And so now that we have all these parts painted their base coats, I always paint some details. Yeah, let's go do that. Let's get all of them out of the picture. So the colors I'll be using are gunmetal from Tamiya, semi-gloss black from Tamiya, flat earth from Vallejo, and basalt gray from Vallejo. I tried painting these on camera, but it was too difficult. I thinned these paints down to make it easier to paint. And I kind of will give up in a second and just kind of watch out for that. This part I kind of messed up on when I was painting it, and I'll show you where in a second. These corners right here where I'm painting right now, or sort of right now, really can't tell, but these corner areas are kind of, well, these part I kind of messed up because there are corners here that I painted a different color than they should be. That kind of was my fault, but I repainted these later. So I was done with that. I painted the rest of the parts, and I was kind of off camera. Guess you can tell what color they are, what color I painted them. So I'm going to show you how to do this wood grain detail on this handle right here. I'm going to show you on the rifle. So since the rifle is basically just metal and wood, it's best to just base coat up wood. I'm going to start with brown sand color from Vallejo. Going to do 2 coats of that. Then we're going to get some oil color, burnt sienna color, or whatever dark. Some brush with a very stiff bristles. And we're just going to apply that over it in the same direction, not too much on the first coat, but on the second coat I would recommend going a bit heavier, just because then it gives you that nice wood grain texture and look that we're going after. Now this is kind of difficult to show, so I just kind of am going to show you the end result here. There's that end result of the wood, and here's the end result of the detail. But I recommend before painting the detail waiting at least 24 hours because of the wood of the stuff to dry. And since here is everything, how about we start to varnish it? Yeah, let's go do that. Gonna use my favorite semi-gloss varnish from Tamiya. Once we're done with that, now it's time for some weathering. Gonna be using black and brown panel liner from Tamiya. I'm just gonna apply the black on the just the field gray parts. And after that, I'm gonna let it dry. My normal procedure for this. But when you're applying it on the wood grain, don't apply it on the wood grain at all, just because that will just kind of won't look good. Just don't do it. Also be careful, because if this stuff gets on the plastic tack, it will melt it. Same with the something from the next step. And for the brown liner is for all the other parts, because of how they're lighter colored. In retrospect, putting the bike on, like mounting it this way, was good, but now it's just kind of annoying. It's not sticking as well as I thought it would be. Okay, next up we're going to be using odorless thinner from AK to get rid of that wash, but be careful, it will literally melt the plastic tack, and I figured that out the hard way. And it happened on this when I was taking some off, and it wouldn't stick, so I kind of stopped doing it and did that off camera. Well, did most of it off camera. You sort of want to blend it, but also wet it away. Like, you want to take it off with your brush, but you don't want to take it off your brush. As you see, I'm kind of just like I'm going to do with my hands, and that's all I'm going to do. But remember, you don't want to take off too much of the wash when you still need that wash for making parts look better. Next, we're going to use this chipping color from AK, and we're going to use some foam, and we're going to do some chipping. Need a little bit on it, but this time it really didn't work, so I needed to get a bit more. This time I got a bit more, but not enough as I wanted. And this third time I sort of got it enough that I kind of wanted it, but I went a little too heavy, but this chipping kind of looked good in my opinion, so I kept it. And now that we've chipped all the parts, we can give it a coat of Vallejo matte thinner, not matte thinner, sorry, matte varnish, and here's the end result. Please like, subscribe, comment, support my channel in any way, and yeah, thank you. Also, I will be putting out a new video next week where I finish this.